love how exercising makes you feel strong, like you can take on any challenge. But do you find it hard to fit it into your busy mom life? Maybe one week you're super on fire, moving your body every day, and the next week you don't exercise once. And then you feel bad about not sticking to it. I get it. I feel exactly that way. That's why I wanted to add exercise to our Renew Your Health podcast series. Let's get moving, Mama. Let's learn how to stay faithful to exercise. You're listening to the Renewed Mama podcast. I'm Kimberly Mutar, and I help mamas like you stay renewed. Renewed in your thoughts that are on repeat while you wash dishes or fold laundry. Renewed in the words you say to yourself and to your children when it's the best day ever and when it spirals into chaos and temper tantrums. Renewed in how you respond so that you keep showing up as the mama you want to be. Wait, Mama, there's more to us to renew than just our thoughts, words, and responses. In order to renew all of us as moms, we need to focus on our health and our home environment. My special guest today is Melissa Ublansky, whom everyone calls Mel. Mel is the co-owner of Cure Fit and Flow Studio, a yoga and movement studio in Ingersoll, Ontario. Mel is a wife and mom to two amazing children. She is passionate about health and wellness for the mind and the body. She loves to experiment with all kinds of movement classes that are fun and motivating. Mel has 4 fur babies, so you might hear one of her dogs enjoying a snack toy in the background. If you'll listen past that, you will be so glad that you pushed play to this episode. Enjoy. Hi, Mel. Welcome to the Renewed Mama podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so let's talk exercise. Sometimes I exercise, most times I don't. And when I do exercise, I feel amazing. Like I can conquer anything. And then when I don't exercise, I feel shame because I think I really should be moving my body. And I'm sure I'm not the only busy mom, who is feeling the same way. Like one week we are just gung-ho on the exercise and super faithful. And then the next week, not at all. So I'm calling on you to give us some, encouragement and fuel, motivation to get us exercising, moving our bodies. So I would love to know, let's talk like a healthy mindset around exercise and why we should exercise.
My thing with exercise, and just from working with lots of other moms out there, is we know, like what you said, we need to do it because it makes us feel good. Like I always say pretty much every day, like I need my medicine, and it's movement. Movement is what makes me feel good, whether it's just a couple minutes. But it's the days that I don't do it, I don't feel good. And that is what I hear from moms upon moms upon moms, right? Because we are giving so much all the time to other people, our families, our jobs, taking care of everybody, that we often think that we are not the priority in that mix. Getting past the guilt, because I think we all do that. Like you said, you're gung-ho one week, you have found your thing, you found your rhythm, but life throws in the day-to-day things, kids, all the things I just said. And we all of a sudden get turned this way. And then it's really hard to come back. And I think one of the first things, that whole guilt thing kind of stops us. And then it's just almost easier to sometimes walk slowly away from it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of just being like, it's okay. That's fine. This took me a while to learn too, is that we're gonna miss a day, we're gonna miss a class, we're only gonna get a 5 minute stretch, maybe.
Mm.
Maybe it's just a walk to the bus stop, whatever it is. But I think we have to stop thinking about it as like shaming ourselves, like we failed, that we didn't get it in today, instead of just look at the things that we did do, like maybe walking our kids to the bus stop or
Right.
grocery shopping. Like, I mean, it's not the type of exercise we want to do, but it's movement, right?
What I am hearing you say is looking at our day as like, what can I fit in? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make the most of this walk to the bus stop. Or I used to do leg lifts and stuff while I was
Yeah,
at the sink washing dishes.
totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of thinking in our heads that we exercise is really only the 30-minute hard cardio or whatever it is at the gym.
Yeah. Like I call them workout snacks. So in my kitchen, I have like a band just over
Mm-hmm.
there. I have my ankle weights. All like I'm always walking around with my ankle weights. And sometimes I'm just like cooking and kicking my legs out to the
Yeah.
side, doing squats. Actually, I do a lot of things on my counter where I'm, using it as kind of resistance. So there's so many ways that we can do it. And I mean, in a perfect world, we would love to work out every day on a specific time, which is what my goal usually is, but it doesn't always happen, right?
Right. Have you always loved to exercise and move your body?
So I actually, funny enough, I was thinking about this more lately, just because I've kind of come full circle around to what I enjoy to do. And so when I was a teenager, I actually got into this is going to date me, but VHS. So there's like Buns of Steel and Abs of
Uh-huh.
Steel, all those kinds of tape. So
Yep.
that I started doing those things. I'm a creature of habit. So even from when I was young, so I've always been a morning person to my family's detriment, but I love to do things in the morning. So I always kind of was in the habit of, I would do these little videos and then I would like to put on music. So music has always moved me. I've never done
Mm.
dance. I've never was like athletic that way, but if I put on music, I could always move. So I used to have these little weights and ankle weight. And it's funny, I just found them recently and brought them to the studio as extras. I've always have loved to move, but I'm not a gym person, to be honest. I'm not. I've had one membership in my life at the gym, and it was like for 6 months when I was 20. Everything else has been more of like a class atmosphere.
Mm.
I like working with people. I like the energy in a room, which kind of led me to where I am. So, what about you? What's your favorite kind of movement right now?
We have a 1 acre property, so I've been walking around the 1 acre with the dog. Always dance parties with the kids. The trampoline, we have an indoor trampoline. It was like the best $30 we've had to get to
Wow,
now. So it
right.
just that helps if I'm feeling just a little bit tired. So then I just jump a little bit on the trampoline, and I've done the beach body videos and I really
Yeah,
like those
yeah,
too.
yeah. See,
Yeah,
there's so many things and variety, right? It's doing all the little things. Like you just named a whole bunch of little exercises that you're doing, right? It doesn't have to
right.
be 30 minutes. It could be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's funny that you say that about the trampoline. I used to have a rebounder and it just died. Like it got
Hmm.
ripped and all this stuff.
Right.
So I just got one again and I have been loving using it, like bouncing. It's a really good feeling in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be great for so many things, like,
Lymphatic
getting yeah, that's right. I was just gonna say your lymph nodes and yeah,
energy and joints.
right. And the same for like strengthening our bones as we get
Mhm.
older as women, we need to do more weight bearing.
Yeah, there's just so many things. So I think it's just stop beating ourselves up for, that we do a lot as moms. We're very busy, but it's
Right.
that coveted like little time to ourselves that is so important, whether that's in a group with people or it's waking up at 5. We have to find what we love. So, I mean, I've done the running. I used to, again, when I find something, I stick to it pretty good. But then, life happens and you fall away from it. So you want to find something that is easy to do, videos and little online groups and stuff like that. If you have a gym, if you have a studio, something that accountability. So I like to cycle with an online community. So I have friends that way that I'm always showing up for. Do you know what I mean? So it's accountability that way. It's kind of like a little group. Are you gonna, even though we can't see each other, we're on the bike at the same time, or we're doing a yoga class or something. Like we're just doing something together. And I find that is something. I show up for them, they show up for me. You have to fit it in at the right time of day for you. For me, it has to be morning, and I like to get it done in the morning for me, because then it's not hanging over my head the whole day, right? You have to carve it out. Like I used to wait and just kind of be like, I'll fit it in when the kids are napping, or it just wouldn't happen. I feel like you have to do it when you know you can do it, even if you don't want to do it. I don't want to do it every morning at 6, but it's when I wake up. I wake up at 5. It's just my thing. I have my coffee, I have my quiet time, and then I start moving. So sometimes I have to jump into the movement. Sometimes I kind of ease into it, whether that's like yoga or whatever. But you have to find what you love. Accountability. I swear that once you start doing it, you're just like, yeah, I always need to do this. Why would I ever stop doing this? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, it's really got to be one of those non-negotiables in our life, like just as much as we have our coffee in the morning.
Yep. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than just getting up and it's that quiet time. And it's hard. Like it's hard in the winter. It's hard when it's dark. It's hard when you have little or, small kids or animals. There's a lot of things that will come up, but you just have to kind of decide that you're a priority, because you're going to have a way better day. You're going to be able to give more to people, is what I find. Anyone that I know that says, kind of gets into this little funk where they're like, oh, I just got to do it. Like, how do you do it? How do you stay? And I'm just like, you just got to do it. So they do. And they're like, yeah, I'm back to me. I'm back to me. I'm getting all my stuff done. You're eating better. So another thing is, when you start exercising, you just start your day out that way, or you fit it in there somewhere. You're motivated to keep that health, that feeling good. You don't want to go wreck that necessarily. You know what I mean? You're going to make healthier choices. You're going to drink more water, because you should, and you need to hydrate again. I feel like you have a shower because you just worked out. So you're like, I'm going to shower now. So you get ready. I don't know. It just starts you on this really good path. And sometimes I know, especially as a mom, that it is when you don't start, even the days like my kids take over my morning, which is fine. But then it just shows up everywhere in my life. I feel like everything kind of is being taken from me at that point. You know what I mean? Just going with the flow. And sometimes, I don't know, just getting at least that one thing that that you have control of is done, and it's yours and it's your time. And it just feels so much better. Just go with the flow, but fit it in.
Thanks for sharing all of the wins really that it adds to our life. Tell us about Cure Fit and Flow Studio. How did you come to start that?
Yoga came into my life when I was 20. I was living in Vancouver. There were studios everywhere. So at the time, that's kind of what I got into. It changed everything about how I kind of thought about my body. I looked at my body as more of something that was actually my vessel, like my thing that I was taking care of, that I was responsible. One body, when you're young, you don't maybe see it that way. And that's all of a sudden, it was a big shift for me. So I did that for years. And then when I moved home to Ontario, and particularly Ingersoll, there was no types of studios like that in the multitude that was there in Vancouver. So I always had it in my head that I would love to teach. But again, when you have young kids, there's just maybe not that time. And then I kind of got this opportunity where I was able to get my yoga teacher training financially and time wise. And it just kind of all happened. So that was like 7 years ago that I got my certification. And then Cure kind of just came about because my partner Jolene, we kind of were talking about different options. She knew I'd gotten certified, and would I ever want to do something like this? And it's funny because I just started teaching some classes at a church, and I was like, yeah, this would be a great idea. So that was like 5.5 years ago. Cure it's amazing. It's a great little studio. And we always say it's maybe we are the business owners of the studio, but we really do feel like it's a place for everybody. Like it's everyone's home. I hear from a lot of moms, especially moms coming back, maybe who took a break, who had their babies, who are very busy now, all of the things. And it's every time, every person, every mom is just like, I forgot how much I needed this and how much, I need to prioritize my time. Even just getting maybe somebody to help them, like just realizing how important it is for them to feel better about themselves, to get motivated again. Especially with the studio, you're in an environment with other moms, so you can meet people. You can, again, that accountability thing, it's that energy, it's feeding off of each other. It's just, there's something about it. It's something I feel very grateful for.
Yeah. I love that so much. And what a gift you have given to the community to make that place available, right? When it wasn't there before.
The type of movement that I love. So I teach yoga, but I also teach kind of like sculpty, burn, things with weights and bands. And it's all around music. It's all about feeling good. It's all about knowing your own strength, not about what so-and-so's doing beside you or what I'm even doing. It's doing exactly what you can do. And I feel like every time people show up, they're just getting more confident to keep showing up and realizing that they do have to prioritize themselves.
That's awesome. Mel, how exercise, does it need to look different when you're approaching menopause?
I'm very open about it because I'm 46. I was fully in menopause at 45. So I was very young. Like it was a lot of people are just starting peri right now. And I was going through it very much on my own. July of 2023 was a full, like I was officially in menopause. Like it had been a year. So leading up to that, I was really struggling with being motivated and kind of changes in my body and even just my motivation. Like I remember saying to my mom, like I've always been like a go-getter and I was just not having my go-go juice. Like it was like not really in there. So when I started to understand and reach out and talk to my doctor and stuff, once I officially knew that was happening, then I just switched. I started looking into like, okay, maybe we don't need to do all the cardio that we've been doing. But I got that memo a little late. Like I feel like in perimenopause, that's everywhere right now. There's all these different methods and kind of cycles, syncing and all that stuff that you can do. Can't do that now. So I've just really had to think about it a little bit differently where like this is my body for strength, for longevity. Like it's not about, sure, it's great if clothes fit, but things change a lot, I found, and it's out of my control. But instead of that narrative, one time I was kind of like, well, I guess this is just where I'm going to be. But no, I feel like you can, again, it doesn't have to be downhill. It's uphill actually. If you just listen to your body. Yeah, you're going to need to change the type of movement and maybe the eating and sleeping. Sleeping's actually been a big thing. I used to always be like, I don't need sleep. I'm like can survive on no sleep. I've totally shifted that. For everybody, it's an individual thing. Everyone's going to feel very different. And there's just, I wish I had have known all the support that there is out there now. Probably for a few months, I was really just doing Pilates, barely like not a lot of cardio, just kind of figuring things out. And then, yeah, so I kind of came right back into my Pilates life, which I love now, and with yoga. And yeah, just kind of pulled back on some of the hardcore things that I was always doing before. Women just need to make sure that they, especially moms, are prioritizing their time, their bodies for health. Stop that mindset that you have to look a certain way before you can start something, because you have to start something before things will change. And it's not always about how you look. It's the feeling starts first and then the rest falls with it.
Right. So. As we wrap up our conversation, what do you wish all moms knew? It can be about anything. Like, what do you wish you could like shout from the rooftops what all moms should know?
Do you know what? I think the biggest thing for me, because I hear this from people all the time, that they're like, oh, I just love what you do. How did you get into this? Or how did you change? Because I'm in a very different field than what I was, which I was in finance before that. And the thing that I want and that I remind people is that we can literally do anything. Like, we can do anything that we want. And I know that sounds so like, but it's so true. We can. And I've done it with different things, but you don't have to stay stuck, whether that's with exercise, whether that's in a job, whether that's in how you feel in your body. Like, we really can make the changes. And I've been stuck. I've been in all of those places, and it's not easy to get out, but it's possible. Remember that it's okay to change, that we don't have to stay this same thing. Like, sometimes people are like, wow, you've done so many things. And I'm like, I know, I feel like I'm a snowball that just continuously grows, and sometimes like circles back to something I've already done, and it just kind of shows up again. So that's, I don't know, that's kind of my thing that I feel like I just always want people to know, is that you can really do anything you want.
Yeah, I love that so much. That's so fitting for really any stage of life that a mom who is listening is in, because you could be young, like have young children and still try something new. Your kids could be teenagers, or they're ready to leave the house, and you can still try something new. So that's really a beautiful perspective. Thanks.
I feel like the older I get, the bolder I get, and just knowing that things do work out. I don't know. They just do, if you put the time and the effort in.
Right.
That's it. Consistency, right? With anything. Yeah.
Wow, wasn't that fun? I love Mel's energy and real mom advice. Tell us in the comments how you will stay faithful to exercise. Mel and I would love to hear from you. If this episode helped you, share it with another mama you know. I encourage you to find another mama to stay accountable to. Even better yet, get you and another mama and your kids moving together. Did you catch the other episodes in the Renew Your Health series? You can watch them all on YouTube or listen on your favorite podcast platform. All of the links are in the show notes. Stay tuned for next Thursday as we are talking about fueling your body well, food freedom, and loving the body you are in. Remember, mama, that if you are wishing for a coach, an accountability partner, another mama to talk to not feel alone in motherhood, to help you to renew your thoughts, words, and responses, I am here for you. Go to renewedmamacoaching.com and book your first coaching session with me. Your parenting, the peace in your home, better relationships with your children, less outbursts and temper tantrums, and a strong, positive mom mindset can be yours. Go to renewedmamacoaching.com. I am here for you. If the Renewed Mama podcast encourages you, would you leave a review on Apple Podcasts or comment on a YouTube video? Your review, your comments help the podcast to grow so that more mamas find it and can stay renewed too. I appreciate it so much. I'll see you next time on the Renewed Mama podcast. For more resources, visit the Renewed Mama podcast, Renewed Mama Coaching, Speak Life Badges, and Austin's Kids Club.